kind of reed knife to use and how to sharpen it are pretty hotly debated topics in the oboe community. But I've been making pretty decent reeds for over 2 decades using just a cheap beveled knife and a single sharpening stone. In this video, I'll show you the cheap and easy way to sharpen your knife. Now, there are obviously going to be better knives and better ways to sharpen them, and probably even better ways to sharpen this knife that I have. But this is the way I do it, and it's been working for me for a long time. So if you don't have any of the fancy tools, maybe give this way a try and see if it works for you. I'm worried that this video is going to end up being really controversial, so I just want to say disclaimer that you don't have to do it the same way I'm doing it. I am just showing you how I do it and what works for me. Okay, so my favorite knife is the beveled knife that looks like this. This way of sharpening won't work for the double hollow ground or other knives you may have. It's only for the beveled with the flat side. And the reason why I like this knife so much is because it is so easy to sharpen. I've got an India stone here, and you can tell I've used it a lot. I probably need to replace my stone, but it still works, so I'm still going to use it. So first I put the blade flat on the stone and just go back and forth, kind of in a W shape to get the whole blade on this more narrow sharpening stone. Then I turn it over, and you can see how it angles here. So I will lay this angle on the sharpening stone. So I'll just tip this up so you can see. I'm not having it flat like this. I'm having it up on that angle of the blade on the stone. And do the same thing. Just a W shape. And I'm not pressing too hard on it. The next part is I want to make sure that I have the burr. So let me explain what that means. With a reed knife, as opposed to a knife you would use for chopping vegetables, its purpose isn't to cut straight down like you would with a kitchen knife, but you want to use it to scrape on a horizontal surface when you're doing your reed. So there's a tiny edge on this knife. You can't even see it here, but ideally it will curve out this way so that when you're scraping on your reed, it's kind of like a snow shovel on the sidewalk, and it will scoop the cane off of the reed. So the way I tell if it has a burr is I use my thumbnail and just gently, I'm not going to scrape on my thumbnail, but I will kind of do almost that same motion and just see if it slides or if it catches. Right now it's kind of sliding, it's not really catching. And so what I will do is put the knife down on that angle again, away from me, and press harder and do one quick swipe across the stone. And then I will test it again. It catches more, but not quite as much as I want, so I'm going to try one more time. And sometimes, I'll show you. Sometimes, instead of having it flat, and you can tell because my knife doesn't really lay flat that I've done this, but I will angle it up ever so slightly. Like I'm exaggerating right now so you can see, but I will angle it up just a little bit just to catch that burr. So I set it down, put it flat, and then angle it just a little bit and drag it across quickly again. And then test. And now it's catching, which means that it has the burr that's going to scrape the cane off. And that's all there is to it. Now that your knife is sharp, why don't you try out my video about proper knife technique? I'll link it right here for you. And if you don't want to miss any more of my content, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.